Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Salesforce for Marketing Keynote. We're glad you're here. I'm glad you're here because we're talking about customer engagement. It would have been awkward if there were no customers here to listen to that. Now, we know marketing is about relationships, and relationships can be complicated. So I'm Matt Tippets. I'm responsible for product strategy at the Marketing Cloud. The way that we build those relationships is with meaningful and relevant engagement throughout the customer journey, to acquire, to grow, to retain our customer base. But just like relationships can be complicated, customer engagement seems to be getting more complicated every day. And that's the challenge that we live in. How did we get here, and where are we going? That's going to be our theme this afternoon. Before we begin, I do want to say thank you. Thank you to our customers for investing in Salesforce. Thank you to our partners who are here for helping our customers achieve their visions. Thank you to the Salesforce team for making this a reality. And thanks to all of you for joining us here at Connections. Here's a topic that we have certainly covered here in the past. And it's not just marketing that's evolving rapidly. It's customers, it's technology, it's media. 100 years ago, the term wireless meant something very different. But as soon as we realized that families like to gather around their radio every week to listen to their favorite show, as marketers, we also realized that it was a great time to communicate with them about products and services that they cared about. From there, we quickly moved into the age of mass media and mass marketing. And here we had to teach ourselves as marketers to ensure that we're targeting audiences based on the publications or the shows that they were interested in. And then, eventually, everything went digital. Everything. And now we're surrounded by channels. And it's not just the channels that talk to us, but we talk back. And we still like to gather around our wireless devices to listen to our favorite show. For our customers, this has meant that we now, as consumers, we now create our own path. From the moment we wake up in the morning, we're connected. We're always on. And we're driving a conversation. It's not a generic conversation, it's the conversation of our lives. We don't wait to get to work before we start working. We don't wait for must-see TV to be entertained. We don't wait for the weekend to run errands or to pick up essentials. We tap, we click, we search, we talk. We get what we need when we need it. And if we can't find it in one place, we quickly move on to another. That's the conversation that we as marketers have to participate in. How does this impact us? Each year, we ask consumers, regular consumers like you and I, what's important to them. And you see the number on the board, but this year, more customers than ever have said that the experience they receive with the brand is as important as the product or service itself. In this context, our marketing calendar isn't sufficient. We have to do and be more. Extending from here, more than half of consumers have left brands in order to find a better customer journey. And 2/3 are willing to spend more money with that new brand. So there's a big opportunity cost to not figuring this out. What does it mean, though, to have a good experience? There's definitely a variety of things, but one of that we keep hearing consistently is this need to have consistent relationships, consistent experiences with a brand. Basically, it's having one relationship. And that's that number you see there. Almost 80% of consumers expect consistency from one department to the next as they go through their customer journey. Admittedly, this is easier said than done. One of the underlying difficulties we face is that our organizations aren't designed around the customer. Organizations are designed around functions. And each function or department is doing everything they can to do their part. But all of these groups have to come together to collaborate around the customer, to put the customer at the center. While it is the responsibility of everyone, what we've found that it's you, as marketers, who are often called upon to lead the way in their organization. And it's a huge opportunity. To give you a sense of the white space in this area, we also ask marketers questions about how things are going. And this past year, only 1/3, so only 33% of our marketers, said that they were suppressing promotions during customer service incidents. So a very simple use case with very little adoption. That just gives you a sense of what marketers can go do if you set your mind to changing your organization around the customer. There is certainly a technology component to this, and where that's most evident is in our data. Our data tends to be just as siloed as our organization is. Every team, every group using the tools of their choice to run their department. And then just within marketing, this same survey I mentioned with 1/3 of our marketers connecting with service, the same survey, marketers have an average of 15 data sources. That means that for many of you, I'm going to have to take off my shoes and I'm going to run out of fingers and toes before we figure out how many data sources you have. There's a lot of data sources at play. And with that, you can imagine how difficult it is to create those seamless experiences, to identify the same person, the same human, from one touch point to the next in your organization. The difficulty in creating segments and audiences that are consistent to power personalization across your business. And frankly, it becomes nearly impossible to create the one-to-one customer journeys that our customers expect from us. This is why marketers are going to need a new data solution. And that data solution can't just be a place to collect and store data. It has to be built around our customers. It has to combine online and offline data. It has to tell us about customer needs and intents. And the data really does need to speak to us. There's too much data for us to navigate on our own. We have to have a system of insight. But data and insights really are meaningless until we use them to help our customers. We have to engage with our customers wherever they are in the moment that they need us. That's any channel, anywhere our customers are. We need a system of engagement. And this is why Salesforce has been so excited to be working on exactly this with a lot of your feedback. A lot of you in the room have powered our roadmap in this area. And why we've been thrilled to be able to announce this week the next generation of Customer 360, which will provide marketers with one place, one product, to implement a modern customer data strategy. Now, last year, when we talked about Customer 360, we focused on the need to connect Salesforce clouds and connecting consumer identities within those clouds. This year, we've been thrilled to share that Customer 360 for marketing will provide one place for all of your customer profile data, offline and online, always respecting customer data privacy and consent. One place for marketers to create segments and audiences of any type and share them throughout your business. One place from which you can activate all of your data to any channel, to any other system, and access that data in real time. And one place for Einstein to understand everything about your data, to provide you with insights that you didn't realize were there. Now, some businesses may have looked at CDPs for some of this capability, but with Salesforce, we believe our approach is broader. We're talking about the next generation of CRM, including the combination of a system of insight with market-leading system of engagement. Customer 360 for marketing is going to be included with relevant Marketing Cloud products. And obviously, you've heard about it at the conference already today, and we're excited for you to be able to learn more. None of this would have been possible without our trailblazers. As I mentioned, it's you that are driving our innovation. It's you that are building a community around which we can all rally and work together to change marketing. And we're grateful for your contributions to Salesforce in that way. And now I have the opportunity to introduce one of our leading trailblazers, who is doing fantastic things in her organization and by extension in society. And if you could please help me in welcoming to the stage Sarah Linsell, CEO of the Brain Tumour Charity. Sarah, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us in Chicago. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So some people not have heard your organization yet. The name probably gives something away. But why don't you tell us about what the Brain Tumour Charity does and how you got involved?
So the Brain Tumour Charity exists because we have to. Today, hundreds of people, thousands of people across the globe will hear those awful words, "I'm really sorry you have a brain tumor." And even sadder, thousands of people, thousands of families will also lose their loved one to a brain tumor. And they don't discriminate, so This year, that could be my mum. It might be your husband or your child or your newborn baby. And that's not okay. So that's what drives us every day at the Brain Tumour Charity to change that injustice. So we have two really clear goals, and it's the only thing we do, and that is to double survival and to halve the harm that brain tumours have on quality of life. So we do that through funding medical research, by providing information to people and support when they need it and how they need it, and to raise the profile of brain tumours, to put it up the agenda. So thank you for allowing me to do that today.
Well, we're happy to have you. You've mentioned that the solution to this is not going to be exclusively found in a petri dish.
No.
Can you explain what you mean and how you go beyond the lab, so to speak?
So funding medical research is really critical. It's also really, really expensive. And that is where our future drugs will be. But actually, there are a lot of answers in data, as we all know, and it's data that's not actually being collected in our disease area. In fact, very little has changed in the last 40 years. We've heard today about the changes that have happened in retail in the last 5 years. Well, if you're diagnosed with a brain tumour today, you'll be given the same treatment as if you were diagnosed 20 years ago. So what if we could use technology to change that in some way? And actually, by using some of your products, we're actually able to extend life as well, so that when you go onto our website, you're given the information that you need to make decisions about your treatment. Are you at the right centre? Do you have the right neurosurgeon? Could you have access to a clinical trial? And if that means you get an additional 2 months, 3 months with your little one, that really matters, and that's helping us to get to our goal of doubling survival.
And that's a key point, because you mentioned that frequently in nonprofits, we do use technology well to drive fundraising. But how can you help yourselves and others, other organizations, use technology to drive services and access to them?
Yeah. So if I think about my experience today and yesterday and listening to all the products, there wasn't a single one that I thought, actually, that could help people live their lives and not their disease. Because providing people with the information that they need, if we're marketing to them in the right way at the right time, particularly that moment where you've just been told you've got a brain tumour and you might only have a couple of hours till surgery, you don't want to see everything. You want to see really, really clearly. A bit like we saw earlier with the facial recognition. You just want to know what your skin type is.
Right.
What if we could use that same information to say, okay, this is your tumour type, this is where you need to go, these are the drugs you need. We could change things.
Thank you so much for everything you're doing, Brain Tumour Charity in the world, because you are the largest organization of this type across the globe. At Salesforce, we actually have one of our Salesforce family members, our Ohana, as we call them within the marketing cloud, dealing with this journey right now. And so we're pleased on behalf of Salesforce to give the Brain Tumour Charity a $5,000 donation.
Oh, thank you very
in the
much.
names of, to let you know about
Yes.
this. They're actually in the audience today, Liz Fairley and her mother, Vicky. And Liz wanted to say this. As a family, we have been so grateful to groups like the Brain Tumour Charity for their support and research as we navigate this journey.
Oh, I look forward to meeting you and to hearing more about your story. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
It's lovely. Thank you very much.
We have the opportunity now to hear from a couple of additional trailblazers. First up, we're going to share the story of the Indiana Fever, the WNBA team out of Indianapolis. They actually play this weekend here in Chicago, if you want to check them out. Let's introduce the Fever.
We work hard. And when we're done, we work harder. All for the love of the game and for something greater. We are trailblazers, empowering women and striving for equality. And now, we're making another statement. With a partner who shares our values and knows we're greater when we're all in this together.
To tell us more about the Indiana Fever and how they're revolutionizing fan engagement, please welcome Katrin Reibant.
Thank you, Matt. And hello, Chicago and Connections. My name's Kat, and I came to Salesforce about a year ago through a Datorama acquisition. And today, together with my buddies, Megan and Isaac in the demo booth, everybody please give it up for Megan and Isaac. We're really excited to tell you about the Indiana fever. Now, I have always admired marketers that are able to connect with their audience and create those magical moments that end up in long-lasting love. And the Indiana fever are exactly that type of marketer. And for that, for years, they've been using Salesforce solutions like MuleSoft for third-party integration, Audience Studio for personalized advertising, Journey Builder to orchestrate fans' experiences across channels, and our social customer care products to help people where they are. But today, the fever want to take their marketing one step further with unified data and artificial intelligence. Now, earlier, you heard Matt talk about Customer 360 for marketing, which is Salesforce solution to build a unified customer view and to serve all these insights and engagement use cases. However, before I go into the demo of Customer 360 for marketing, I have two great announcements to make. My first announcement is going to help you personalize real-time experiences across advertising and your digital experiences with your brands. By better integrating Audience Studio and Interaction Studio, you'll be able to do things like use that amazing segmentation data from your advertising to power personalization in real time across your digital experiences. My second amazing announcement is going to help your teams get out those critical messages to your customers. And we know that for most of you, email and mobile messaging are the #1 ROI and communication channels. And you need to stay on top of those critical moments like lost password or purchase update. And you want to manage them together and not siloed from all of the amazing promotional messaging that you're doing. And so with our new RESTful APIs, that is also an amazing announcement for all of you developers out there. So innovation at Salesforce is fostered by customers like the Indiana fever. And today, I am going to share my story as an emerging fan of the fever. So, as you may have recognized from my accent, I am not actually natively from the Midwest. However, I am a recent transplant, and I have really good friends here. So good that they made me the godmother to their 14-year-old daughter, Lisa, who just started playing basketball. So Lisa loves Indiana fever star Candice Dupree, and I decided I am going to be the cool godmother, and I'm going to be the one that takes Lisa to her first fever game. Now, how does the fever attract people like me? Create those magical moments that are going to retain Lisa and me and turn us into lifelong fans and ultimately grow their business? The answer is Customer 360 for marketing. Customer 360 enables CMOs, like Todd here, to understand their fans, no matter which team they support. So what we see here is the main Customer 360 for marketing dashboard, where CMOs like Todd and marketing leaders like Elena can come together and understand things like the full makeup of their fan base, or critical consent information, or here on the top left, top segment performance. And Todd knows that the fever have a strategic mandate to bring families to the games more often. So looking at this performance of the family segment, he tasks Elena and her team to take action. And she does. She clicks on the segment, understands the performance of the segment. She can even click into individuals and understand their touch points across the entire fever experience. Now, at this point, probably a lot of you are thinking, oh my God, this is amazing, but how do we easily create the data model that is going to support this analysis? The answer is we bring in all the data streams from these data sources and easily map them to unified fields, as you see here. And we do know that marketers need this process to work at scale. We also know that you need to be able to control this end-to-end. And that's why we use the power and the infrastructure of MyBaby, Datorama, to power this entire experience from a workflow and a performance standpoint. And all of that comes together around the customer as a data model with all of the attributes linked to the customer ID. And that's what supports all of the insights and engagement use cases that I'm going to walk you through. So we also understand that marketers need to integrate third-party data that is not necessarily Salesforce data. And in the case of the Fever, they use Ticketmaster as a purchasing platform. So Elena is able to rely on her Salesforce admin and use the power of the MuleSoft Anypoint platform to bring the Ticketmaster data into Salesforce and enrich the customer view. So that really is an amazing platform for insights. But it's not that useful if we don't use it for engagement. So let's do that. Let's create a high-value family segment. And let's enrich that segment with lifetime purchase data. And now we're going to take that segment and we're going to activate it in Audience Studio. Audience Studio is where unknown personal and device data come together. And what we see here is the high-value family segment that we just created in Customer 360 for marketing. And we're going to take that segment and we're going to scale it by creating a lookalike. And that will allow us to start bringing more fans to the Fever. However, we can take that process one step further, and we can understand more about the makeup of this segment. What do these people like? So let's use an Einstein segmentation insight and look at that. Well, you can see here, they're crime genre lovers, and that gives us a clue as to where to find them. You see what I did there? So let's take that lookalike, and we're going to activate it across all addressable channels. And here's what it looks like for Lisa and me in real life. So I'm at work, I'm browsing my favorite website, and I see an ad for the Fever, except I'm busy, so I don't take action. Just go home, and later that night, Lisa comes to visit me. We hunker down on my couch, and we get ready to watch our favorite show, Law & Order on Hulu. And I see the same ad for the Fever. And with Lisa being there, I'm like, okay, this is the moment, let's do it. I click on the ad, the promo URL takes me to Ticketmaster, where I purchase my tickets. And I did mention the Fever bringing Ticketmaster data into Salesforce to enhance their customer view, so that data is now ready to be actioned. So a few days later, I get an email in my mailbox. And what we see here is my mailbox with the purchase email and the promotion email right there. And that really is the power of transactional messaging and promotional messaging coming from a unified place. So the email prompts me to download the app, which I do because it has amazing information about parking and deals. And at this point, Lisa and I, we're getting really fired up. So how does the Fever make sure that this amazing pre-game experience carries through the in-game experience? For that, what we want is real-time interactions based on who I am and what I'm doing. So let's go to Interaction Studio. And what we see here is Interaction Studio with my Customer 360 for marketing profile right there to be activated. Interaction Studio is next best action for fans. But how do we make sure that the information gets activated in the right channel for me? For that, let's go to Journey Builder. Journey Builder, with the power of Interaction Studio and Customer 360 for marketing, will make sure that my experience happens in the channel that is optimal for me. And what we see here is the in-game journey, where upon ticket scan, I've got an SMS or a push message where the channel split is determined by Einstein. So let's have a look at that message. Okay, it looks good. Let's activate this. And now, the really exciting part, game day. So Lisa and I, we're all decked out in our Fever gear. We get to the stadium, we scan our tickets, and boom, I get a message directing us to our seats. And that's really helpful because with my sense of direction, we could have been for hours. And many of you in the audience know that from experience. So we're in the first half, and the Fever are going really strong. They're up 20 points, we're really excited, but we're getting hungry. And we think, let's beat the crowd. We head up the stairs, and we get a second message, giving us a deal for a meal at a restaurant nearby that has our favorite foods. This is really amazing. This is exactly what I need when I need it. Unfortunately, not everything can happen perfectly on game day. And at some point, we realized Lisa lost the hat that I got her for her first game. She was about to cry. I didn't know what to do. I had mentioned the fever on Twitter, and seconds later, I got an answer directing me to the guest service desk. And that's amazing. That's really social customer care with my Customer 364 marketing profile, because now the service agent knows things about me, like the type of tickets I purchase. So I get to the service desk, and not only had they found Lisa's hat, but also they had a soft toy mascot for her. And listen to this, they had an offer to do a halftime shot. Now that blew my mind. Talk about saving the day, quite literally. So that was really amazing. Thank you, The Fever, for that. I just walked you through how The Fever built magical moments for Lisa and me, using MuleSoft and Customer 364 marketing to create a unified customer view, Audience Studio and Journey Builder to manage our experience across channels, Interaction Studio and Social Customer Care to help us where we were, and created some magical moments that really saved the day. So thank you, The Fever, for that. And let's have a look at what happened at halftime.
Here she goes!
Did you see that smile? So, to help me tell the story of Pacer Sports and Entertainment and the Indiana Fever, please help me welcome Todd Taylor, CMO of Pacer Sports and Entertainment, and Dr. Alison Barber, President of the Indiana Fever. So, Todd, the Pacer Sports and Entertainment Group is growing outside of Indiana, in fact, outside of the US, and also outside of the activities that you have been traditionally involved in. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. In addition to the Fever, actually, Pacer Sports Entertainment consists of an NBA team, the Pacers, a G League team in Fort Wayne, the Mad Ants, an esports team, believe it or not, the Pacers Gaming. We also operate an arena in downtown Indianapolis, and we're affiliated with a baseball team in Reno as well as a soccer team. So in our business, obviously, we're trying to sell tickets, so we're highly localized, but we also happen to be global brands. So it allows us really to reach out to a wide variety of people around the world, allowing us to gather some data and create some insights, and then obviously, hopefully, create some connections and hopefully put people on a journey that allows them to maximize our opportunity.
Well, that's amazing. You certainly have one new fan. So with all of these growth, obviously come data and technology and marketing challenges. Would you like to tell us a little bit about how you're tackling those?
Sure. Actually, I think it comes down to tools and talent. And obviously, our majority shareholder, the Simon family, they've invested heavily in that. So we've got a great team, and obviously we're using tools to try and make sense of all that data. We don't have a highly targeted fan that we're going after. It's a wide variety of people. So it's really important for us to be able to put people in the right buckets and then have them travel that journey so that we make sure that we're optimizing every experience that we have.
So, Alison, from first grade school teacher to advisor at the White House, to now president of the Indiana Fever, inclusion has been a common theme across your career. Can you tell us about how that comes to life in your current role?
Well, first, you look great in the brand.
Thank you.
We're anxious to use the data that we're working with Salesforce to attract new fans who believe what we believe. At the Indiana Fever, we believe in inclusion and opportunity. Think about opportunity for our new draft, our new rookie, Tiara McCowan. She's 6'7". And she would never play outside because kids made fun of her. And at the age of 15, her mom said, why don't you try basketball? And so she did, and she did not love the sport, but she loved not being made fun of. Right. And that is basketball. It's a leveling field, and it gives everybody opportunity. And we're thrilled with our partnership with Salesforce because they believe what we believe, and that is inclusion and opportunity. And we think that everyone at the Fever, everyone deserves a shot.
So do we. That was really inspirational. Thank you for that. And back to you, Matt.
gonna take the clicker with me. Thank you, Kat, and that was a nice shot, Lisa. From the Fever, we want to introduce you to another organization, a journey that we're all familiar with, finding our first job or our next job. The Page Group is actively helping employers find candidates and helping candidates find their dream job. To tell us more about that, please welcome to the stage Christy Polis.
Thanks, Matt. Hello, Connections. I'm a Senior Director of Marketing here at Salesforce, and I have a team who focuses every single day on connecting with marketers just like you. So this really means a lot to me. It's great to be back here in Chicago. I actually did my master's degree here at Northwestern. Come on, Tamawu. Thank you. And while I was here, I really got to appreciate gaining a new perspective and living in a new city. So today we're going to talk about the Page Group and their subsidiary, Michael Page. And they are doing truly amazing things with global recruiting today. They're changing the face of what a professional services brand can be and how they act. Today, they're doing it using marketing tools like employer marketing with Pardot, real-time web personalization with Interaction Studio, candidate journeys with Journey Builder, and marketing intelligence with Datorama. Now, they're doing amazing things today, but they want to take it to the next level by creating truly incredible personalized candidate experiences. And they want to do that using tools like AI, data and analytics, and integrations across the platform and across their entire business. Earlier, we heard Matt talk about Customer 360 for marketing and how marketers can now react in real time based on that unified customer profile. And we heard in the most recent State of Marketing report that real-time engagement with customers is not only a marketer's #1 priority, it's also their #1 challenge. And I know it's ours. So that's why I'm so excited to be the person who gets to announce 2 new innovations from Salesforce that are going to help marketers just like you meet those challenges. The first one is all about intelligent engagement with AI. Now, did you know that more marketers than ever are using AI today? In fact, that number has gone up by over 40% just in the last year alone. With Einstein engagement frequency, you're going to know exactly how many messages you can send somebody to keep them excited about your brand. With Einstein send time optimization, those messages will go out at exactly the right time that people have time to look at them. And with Einstein content tagging, your team can easily tag and store content across multiple platforms, making it easy to find and use. The second announcement is all about data. And as a data-driven marketer myself, I love this one. Last year, as Kat mentioned, we welcomed Datorama to the Salesforce Ohana. And since then, we have been innovating across the marketing platform. And now, with intelligent marketing insights for email, you can get deeper insights into what's happening with your email campaigns than ever before. And you can get it in the same place as your advertising, social, web, direct sales, and more, all in the same place. You're able to look at that content and analyze it, see what audiences are working, and see what's not. And most importantly, you can track that over time with flexible dashboards that are powered by AI. Now, it's companies like the Page Group and Michael Page that are driving us to this kind of innovation. And to do that, they're doing it on both the B2B and the B2C side of the business. On the B2C side, they're focused on candidate marketing. They're focused on creating that incredible experience that we talked about. They want to attract the candidates to the brand, engage them throughout their life cycles, and then retain them and create business in the future. On the employer side, they want to make sure that that pipeline of candidates is as full as possible with exactly the right kind of people that their employer clients need. So to see how they're doing it, let's take a look at how Michael Page's B2B marketing team is using Pardot. So here we are in Pardot Engagement Studio. Now, recently, the Michael Page team sent out an email survey because they really wanted to understand what sort of candidates their employers were going to be looking for soon. And it looks like we've got some pretty good responses to that survey, so let's dig into that a little bit more. Here we are in B2B analytics, and you're able to see the results of that survey specifically. And something interesting has come up. We can see that while there is a high number of open positions looking for technical talent with international experience, the candidate pool is actually quite low. So the Michael Page team knows that they need to do something about that. And to do that, they're going to use Advertising Studio to kick off a campaign targeted at those candidates. They're able to take what they know about those candidate profiles, along with lookalike audiences, and create this campaign that will show up in places like Facebook, Google, Pinterest, Twitter, and LinkedIn, places where people go to look for job information. Now that looks good, so they can go ahead and deploy that campaign. But what does it look like for the candidate? Well, before I show you that, I want to actually introduce you to my family. This is my husband, Rob, and our 17-year-old twins, Connor and Emily. And because I work at the best company in the world, I just got an amazing opportunity to transfer to London and start a new role there. And now, my husband needs to find a job in London as well. But honestly, we don't know anything about searching for a job abroad. And so what do you do when you don't know anything about something? Well, you Google it, of course. So we go online and we do a Google search for marketing leadership opportunities in London because that's what my husband's looking for. And this ad from Michael Page caught our eye. And that's because not only did they offer to be a partner in this journey, they spoke about finding our dream job, and they didn't just try to sell us something. So we went ahead and clicked into that ad and start looking along the site, looking at some of the opportunities that are available. Clicking through the site, we could get things like career advice and information on things like taxes. I mean, who knows what a P45 form is? I don't. But obviously it's important, and Michael Page really helped us figure that out. And as we continued to go through the site, something really interesting started to happen. It became more and more personalized to my husband's job search, showing him opportunities that were specific to his level of skill. So some of these are looking really interesting for both of us, but this is a big, scary decision, and it's not something that we want to do just on our own. So we've asked to, we're going to have to fill out that Contact Me form and ask to speak to a Michael Page consultant. So we've seen Michael Page attract our attention with that CRM ad and engage with us with the personalized experience on the website. And now they've put us into a journey with this Contact Me form. But now what happens next from the Michael Page point of view? Well, to see that, let's take a look at Interaction Studio. Now, Michael Page is doing incredible things with Interaction Studio, looking at both online and offline engagement with their candidates to keep them throughout the life cycle. So if we dig into Analyze here, we can actually see this campaign specifically targeted at these candidates. And you can see every step in that Michael Page life cycle, from awareness to search, all the way through placing somebody in a role. On the top with the blue lines, we can see where people are progressing through the journey and even skipping stages. In the bottom, the purple lines, we can see where people are regressing or even sometimes falling out of the journey. But if we want to dig deeper, we can go in and look at the channels and the devices that people are using and really understand how they're engaging with the brand. Now, the Michael Page team sees an area of concern here in the purple, and they want to dig into that more and understand really what they can do to improve that. So to do that, they're going to use Datorama. Now, Datorama is marketing intelligence for companies like Michael Page. And here you can see all the KPIs for this particular campaign across the multiple channels. And most of them look fantastic. But there's a couple that are of concern, specifically this one on phone consultations. Now, the Michael Page team knows that if they can get a candidate on the phone, they are most likely to get them into the candidate pool and get them placed in a role. So they know they want to do something with that. So if we scroll down here, we can see which channels are best for conversion. And it looks like email is really leading the way with that. So with the Datorama connector for email, we can dig into the specific data about how email is working for this program. And we can see all the data for all of these emails that are going for this campaign. But if we scroll down, here we can see on the top left that this 10 high demand skills email is outperforming all of the others. So the Michael Page team knows that that's the one that they want to make sure is the first one out of the gate when they're reaching out to those candidates. And to do this, they're going to use Journey Builder. So one of the great things about Journey Builder is that you can use Google Analytics 360 to create audiences for campaigns just like this Google candidate audience that we've been working on. So we know we want to edit that email, and we're going to be able to do that right here in Journey Builder. We want to edit the content, and we want to edit some of the images. So we can go into places like Dropbox and Sitecore and pull that image thanks to the Einstein content tagging. So let's find the right one. That one looks good. Let's go ahead and add that. And let's save this email. Because we are using send time optimization, we know that this email is going to get to the people exactly at the right time they have the chance to open it. And with Einstein engagement frequency, we're able to connect with them and make sure we're getting it to them just with the right amount of frequency and not so often that we're annoying them. We've all been there, right? So this all looks good. Let's go ahead and activate that journey. So what did this look like for us? Well, my husband got the email at exactly the right time when he had a chance to take a look at it. And we were really impressed with the fact that not only did it speak to what he was looking for, but it also had the images of London where they knew that we were going, and he could schedule his interview right here in the email. He had that interview with the Michael Page consultant, and it was amazing. They were like a career Sherpa for him, helping him through every step in the journey of preparing his CV, finding the right job opportunity, and even helping both of us think through things like taxes and where our kids are going to go to school. So he's actually in London right now, and I'm waiting to hear back from him about what's happening next. So that's where we are. Oh, wait, there's my phone. Hey, honey.
Hey, just got off the phone, and great news, I got the job.
Woo, this is amazing. Yes. Glad both of us are going to be employed. All right. So we're going to head to London where we're going to be able to celebrate this amazing experience with our family and experience all of these new perspectives. So we've seen Michael Page go through this journey using amazing tools like Pardot and Interaction Studio, building customer journeys that are really personalized with Journey Builder, and using Einstein and Datorama to make sure that they're doing exactly the right data at the right time with the right message for me. So now I'd like to welcome to the stage Alex Bates, who runs data and analytics at Michael Page and the Page Group, to tell us more. Hi, Alex. Thanks so much for being here with us today.
Pleasure. Pleasure. Welcome to be.
So you've heard we just told a little bit of the Michael Page and Page Group story. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about the organization?
Yep. So Page Group is a global recruitment business. We as you mentioned, Michael Page is a well-known brand in the US. We also trade under 3 other brands, so Page Personnel, Page Exec, and Page Outsourcing. We're in 36 countries globally. And very much our people are the kind of core of our business. We have about 8,000 staff globally, and about 80%, the majority of those are very much customer-facing, our consultants dealing with people and helping them at a time that's really important in their life.
It is a really important time, and that's, you're engaging with people at an emotional time, at a big change in their lives. Can you talk about how that's affected your marketing organization and what you're doing to really personalize that experience?
Yep. Been through quite a transformation in marketing, if I'm honest. I think a while ago, a number of years ago, it was very much marketing's role was at the bottom of the funnel. So it's very much about conversion, very much about, I guess, advertising our media program. And the sort of nurturing and engagement part of the journey was really what the consultants were responsible for. We've really gone through a program of trying to understand how marketing can do more of that heavy lifting, how we can understand our markets better, how we can understand where to target, but ultimately then have very personalized, sort of connected customer experiences across all our channels. And a lot of the investments and a lot of the effort that we've made is about driving that program and seeing how we use technology, tools, and data to help enhance that experience.
Can you share some of your results?
Yeah, I can. I mean, I can explain one of the journeys. There's probably loads I can tell you in terms of the programs we run, but there's one which I think sort of encapsulates a lot of how it's progressed as we've had different tools in. And I think it's the life cycle program where we have somebody and they apply for a role similar to your demo, they apply for a role, and from that point we have an ongoing program of communication which is sort of relevant to where they are or where we think they are, I guess, in their sort of job journey, whether it's how to get a job, how to be ready for the interview, or how to deal with yourself on social media, all those sorts of things. Hopefully they get the role like your husband. So then it can be about congratulations, how to be successful in the first 90 days. And then on through these tools where we can start to capture information about what their next role is, what skills they need to develop those roles, what salaries they can expect. And then ultimately, hopefully they'll come back to us and we can position them in their next roles. I think what's interesting about that is we've been running that for about 3 years across all our countries. I guess the game changer for us was adding Interaction Studio. So we now have Interaction Studio, which we've had for a number of months, and that's now part of the program. So rather than having this relatively standard sort of 2-year program, we can react to when customers. So we can run the usual program, but when people engage with us, we can know what content they're looking at on the website or the offline conversations they have, and really deliver the next best action and adjust the journey so it's relevant. And yes, in terms of results, I certainly can. I mean, I probably won't tell you the revenue that we get through. We have an attribution model, but in terms of the basic stats, I mean, from that kind of simple emails that you send out, I mean, you might expect a sort of 15%, 20% open rate and 1% click-through rate. The life cycles are very popular programs that we ran, and we're engaging people at the right time. And we certainly saw open rates of about 40% and click-through rates of near 7%. But adding Interaction Studio, those have jumped to 60% open rates and sort of 20-odd% click-through rates. And conversion rates on our websites are doubling in terms of what we're seeing. So we've really felt the difference from making that personalized journey. I think it's obvious, if I'm honest, that the more targeted, the more personalized, more relevant you are, the better the results. But we're certainly actually seeing that's a reality as well.
That's fantastic to hear. So thank you so much for joining us here today, Alex.
Thank you.
And back to you, Matt.
Thank you, Christy, and thank you, Alex. It's always nice when somebody finds their dream job, right? So how does everything that we've talked about today fit together? Customer 360 for marketing will allow you to know your customers better than ever before, which will then enable you to personalize at every step of the journey, whether for the business buyer or for the consumer. And with Salesforce Marketing Cloud, you can engage anywhere you need to engage. Email, mobile, social, web, advertising, wherever your customers are will help you get there. And then we want to help you understand if it's working and where you can improve. And that's where you'll be able to analyze the results powered by Datorama. All of this to ensure that we are engaging with customers like they need us to engage with them, so that we can build relationships and we can acquire and grow and retain our business. We don't want the conversation to stop here with you. If you're more interested in the customer data aspect of what we talked about, please head to Trailhead and take our customer data module. I've referenced a few statistics over the course of the afternoon. That study is available to you right now if you text CONNECTED to 38767. Bridging from online to offline, we have a couple of key sessions that you may be interested in. AI-powered journeys this afternoon at 3:30, and then tomorrow morning, more data discussion at 10:15. Thank you again for coming to Connections. Enjoy the rest of the conference and enjoy the concert this evening.